Good morning, I am Dr. Nikita Ahuja and I would be presenting the role of MRI in assessing non-traumatic orbital lesions in observational study in central India. MRI, that is magnetic resonance imaging, plays a crucial role in assessing orbital and neuro-ophthalmic disorders, offering superior soft tissue contrast compared to CT. Diagnostic accuracy of MRI and orbital lesions depend on various factors including lesion type, location, and imaging protocol. The aims and objectives would be to evaluate the role of MRI in assessing non-traumatic orbital lesions, focusing on location and type, to correlate MRI findings with clinical and histopathological data, and to assess MRI's diagnostic accuracy and enroll treatment planning. This was a hospital-based observation study done in a tertiary care center with sample size of 60 patients with non-traumatic orbital lesions presenting with proptosis, diminution of vision and diplopia, with or without suspected metastasis to the orbit or invasion from intra or extracorneal lesions. The ethical clearance was taken, the demographic data was written, and patients underwent MRI with T1 and T2 weighted images, fat suppressed sequences, contrast enhanced imaging, and diffuse weighted imaging. In different planes taken, data were analyzed descriptively and statistically. Patients with suspected metallic foreign body with ferromagnetic implants, contraindication to contrast agents, and claustrophobia, and those who did not give consent were excluded. Final confirmation of the diagnosis was done by histopathological examination. Histopathology and CT correlations were performed if required. Collected data were recorded on MS Excel sheet, percentage mean and standard deviation, relative ratio, and p-values were calculated. So let us see some cases like retinoblastoma, in which the axial T1 weighted image shows heterogeneous hypointense mass in the chorioretinal layer with extraocular extension. On contrast, shows intense enhancement, and correlative CT shows a heterogeneous mass with calcification. Coming to orbital lymphoma, where coronal T2 fat suppressed T1 axial images show mild low intensity lesion involving supralateral aspect in the extracorneal lesion. Mild thickening and enhancement of edges in conjunctiva can also be seen in T1 post-contrast imaging. Optic nerve meningioma, where axial flare T2 suppressed, T2 fat suppressed in T1 post-contrast sequence showing heterogeneous hypo-intense lesion in intracorneal space along the optic nerve. Then lymphovenous malformation and cavernous hemangioma. In this, we can see the sagittal T1 image shows heterogeneous lesion in extracorneal space with few T1 hyperintensities, where T2 axial and coronal image shows fluid level. Gadolinium enhanced MRI shows helps in evaluating vascularity, blood-brain barrier disruption, and inflammatory changes. And in cavernous hemangioma, the T1 weighted axial image shows heterogeneous lesion in extracorneal compartment. The results was the diagnostic accuracy in specific lesions was orbital tumor sensitivity came out to be 90% and specificity 85%, with MRI effectively differentiates benign from malignant tumors. Optic nerve pathologies, MRI is superior to CT for optic nerve gliomas and meningiomas. Inflammatory, which is the most common etiology, in which the most common was preseptal cellulitis, and neoplastic lesions, in which the most common was lymphoma, MRI has high accuracy. In distinguishing these conditions, difficulty in detecting subtle bone erosions, where CT was found to be superior. So, in some studies, it was stated that MRI effectively differentiates intraocular tumors. MRI provides exceptional detail of intracranial anatomy, and in Deepwater et al. Study, it is useful for detecting small intraocular tumors and assessing neoplasms. The strengths and limitations of the study were the study covers a wide range of orbital pathologies, providing a holistic view of orbital imaging. The study links imaging findings with clinical presentation, aiding in differential diagnosis and providing patients' management strategies. The study does not discuss the financial and logistical constraints of the MRI over CT in routine clinical practice. Further, some vascular lesions and neoplasms have overlapping images characteristics, making differentiation challenging despite modality enhancement. So to conclude, this study highlights area for future research to improve the understanding and assessment of non-traumatic orbital lesions. MRI is essential for diagnosing non-traumatic orbital lesions, provide detailed anatomical insights, and enhances diagnostic accuracy and patient management. Crucial for evaluating orbital neoplasms, assessing ocular structures, perineural spread, and intracranial extension. Thank you.
Very nice presentation. Sorry. MRI is well known for such kind of lesions, orbital lesions for responsible for proptosis, orbital apex syndrome, superior orbital fissure syndrome, cavernous sinus thrombosis, intracranial secondaries or primaries. It's very well known. I mean, what extra have you given to?
Sir, in certain conditions like I listed in my PPT.
This study is MRI versus CT scan or just an MRI for any orbital lesion? Naturally, any orbital lesion, any suspected orbital lesion. subject to imaging, fine. And definitely MRI has a upper hand than CT scan.
Yes, sir.
So what is the new in this study? Did you compare with the CT scan, or in those cases where the CT scan has upper hand, where there you could have shown that yes, MRI also can give I give you an example, or I ask you, in thyroid eye disease, what will you do, MRI or CT scan?
Sir,
And
MRI.
why?
So we'll go for MRI to see if CT would, we do CT and MRI both, but MRI would be of greater importance
That
in
is what I asked.
looking for soft tissues like muscle involvements and
That is visible on CT
CT
scan
also.
also. You want to see the fat enhancement, hypertrophy, you want to see the muscle. So that is visible primarily on CT scan also. If you want to have, if you have to do orbital decompression, then definitely you have to do CT scan, because there you need to study the bone in this. So not in all cases you do just do MRI. MRI or any imaging is the thing for any orbital lesion. Nothing new in this study. That is what I feel.
Sir,
Thank you very much for still presenting it.
Thank you, sir.